Welcome to Seed of God. In this video, we will explore the first verses of the book of Proverbs, a text full of wisdom and profound teachings that guide us towards a full and just life. The book of Proverbs was written by King Solomon, the wisest king that ever lived, a man of incomparable wisdom. In the first verses, we find the purpose of why we should study this wonderful book. Join me in this Bible study, where we will discover principles that can transform your life and the lives of your loved ones. We will also learn how King Solomon became so wise. All right, let's begin. If a person in their old age, before dying, had known this book, they could see how many mistakes they could have avoided by knowing the Proverbs in their youth. They could have avoided many problems. Verse 1:1. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. Here the author of the book is mentioned. We know this book is named Proverbs because it is a translation from Hebrew. The book, in its original language, is called Mishli Shalomin, which translates to the Proverbs of Solomon. How did Solomon become a wise king? The story of Solomon's wisdom begins with his ascent to the throne of Israel after the death of his father, King David. Solomon was only 12 years old. He was very young. One night, Solomon went to Gibeon, a high place where he used to worship God. There, he offered 1,000 burnt offerings on the altar. That night, while he was sleeping, God appeared to him in a dream. God said, "Ask what I shall give you. O Lord, my God, you have made your servant king in place of my father David. But I am only a young boy and do not know how to govern. Your servant is in the midst of your people, a people so great that they cannot be numbered. Therefore, give your servant an understanding heart to judge your people, to discern between good and evil." God was pleased that Solomon did not ask for a long life, riches, or the death of his enemies, but for understanding to judge justly. Because you have asked this and have not asked for a long life, riches, or the life of your enemies, but have asked for understanding to discern justice, behold, I have done according to your words. I have given you a wise and understanding heart, so that there has never been anyone like you before, nor shall any like you arise after you. And I have also given you what you have not asked for, both riches and honor, so that there will be none like you among the kings all your days. Thus, Solomon received unparalleled wisdom. Part of the wisdom Solomon received is written in this book of Proverbs. It is available to anyone who wishes to acquire this wisdom. There is only one requirement to be wise: to recognize, as King Solomon humbly recognized, that you lack wisdom and that you wish to have it to do what is right in the eyes of God. So, if your goal is to know and do His will and to please God, be sure that if you ask God, He will grant you wisdom because it is something that pleases Him to be asked. It is not a selfish request. As James 1 verse 5 says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all generously and without reproach, and it will be given to him." God will give you wisdom, but you must ask in faith, because without faith nothing pleases God. Continuing with our biblical analysis, Proverbs 1 verse 2, "To know wisdom and instruction, to discern the sayings of understanding." Here we have two concepts: wisdom and instruction. Wisdom is the ability to make decisions and act in a manner that is considered just, prudent, and based on deep understanding and experience. It is not just about accumulating knowledge, but applying that knowledge correctly and ethically in daily life. There can be people with a lot of knowledge, but if they do not apply their knowledge, they do not act wisely. Moreover, a wise person must discern between right and wrong, between what is eternal and what is temporary. And instruction is the set of teachings and principles. It is education and discipline. This means that the Proverbs serve to educate, which is a very great value that people should have. Moreover, you do not lose it like other material goods. It is not like money that depreciates and can be stolen. The older a person is, that is, the more years they have, the harder it is to acquire knowledge, so it is important to educate children from a young age. Regarding prudence, it is knowing how to act in certain moments. It involves acting with caution and foresight, anticipating the consequences of our actions. Verse 1:4, "To give prudence to the naive, to the youth knowledge and discretion." The word naive refers to the inexperienced, those who do not have experience. Prudence is the ability to understand and perceive situations quickly and accurately, and to act with astuteness and skill to achieve an objective. It involves having good judgment and a sharp mind to solve problems and handle complex situations. Knowledge is the intellect, the ability to understand, assimilate information, and use it appropriately. Discretion is the ability to think, act, and behave sensibly and reasonably, showing good judgment and self-control. It is closely related to moderation and prudence and reflects a sound and balanced mind. An example to understand what it is to be prudent, knowledgeable, and act with discretion is the story of Daniel and his friends in Babylon. When King Nebuchadnezzar ordered that the young Jewish men be trained in the Babylonian culture and language, he also assigned them food and wine from the king's table. This type of diet would defile Daniel, but he prudently decided not to defile himself with the king's food and wine, preferring a vegetarian diet to fulfill God's will. Thus, Daniel and his friends demonstrated prudence by finding a way to remain faithful to God, obeying the instruction of the law, and at the same time, not openly disobeying King Nebuchadnezzar's orders. They used knowledge, understanding, and wisdom to excel in their training and were highly valued for these virtues. They also acted with discretion, avoiding conflicts and finding a peaceful and effective solution. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and activate the notification bell to receive updates on our upcoming Bible studies. See you next time.